All right. Good morning, Keller Williams, Greater Metropolitan, and welcome to our weekly sales meeting. My name is Michael Rapaski, and I'll be your host for today's festivities. We are just 2 years past the onset of the pandemic, and I am still clicking the wrong Zoom links and opening up the wrong stuff. So sorry for the delayed start here this morning, but we have an awesome sales meeting for you this morning. We're going to hear from everybody on our sales team and all of our partners today with some critical updates for you and your business. We want to dive in for starters and talk a little bit about our 6 personal perspectives. We're on week 4 of this journey of discussing these, and the 4th personal perspective is making being learning based a foundation of your action plan. I am reminded of one of my elementary school teachers who told me that if you can read, you can do anything. And as cheesy as that sounds, the opportunity to access information, education, and resources to grow your business exists in greater abundance here at Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan than it does anywhere else in the world. But if we're just learning for the sake of learning, it can come up short, or we'll end up attending a lot of trainings and doing a lot of things, but not getting into action. And I think that as I look at this particular piece of the puzzle, when it comes to the personal perspectives, it's making being learning based the foundation of your action plan, right? So where do I want to go? What do I want to do? How am I going to get there? And then what do I need to learn to set that all off, right? This is not about being a lifelong learner. It's not having a love for information or a love for knowledge. It's about getting into action. And remember, these characteristics are these personal perspectives were characteristics of all of the top real estate agents interviewed by Gary Keller when he wrote The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And so if you want to perform like a top agent, you have to think like a top agent. And that means making being learning based the foundation of your action plan, not your entertainment plan. All right. And then for our visitation of the beliefs, I want to talk about success results through people. We're going to celebrate some wins some folks had in the month of February, and then talk a little bit about the performance of our market center and some great things that we've had happen, some great things that we have on the horizon. And want you to know that all of that is coming alongside and through the people who make up this awesome company. So every time we have a win, you can trace it back to a who. Every time there's something to celebrate, we're celebrating our success that comes through our relationship and partnership with all of the agents in our company. Speaking of success, let's look at some of these top performers for the month of February. So hopefully you've seen, as I have, your Facebook and Instagram feeds blowing up with some of the graphics that we provide to the teams that are teams, groups, and individuals that are setting the world on fire, at least the market. I want to call out just a few folks who are absolutely crushing it right now. You heard from him back in December as a part of our agent feature. His name's John Murchison. A lot of people will look at the month of February and say, hey, short month, my results, I can justify them. I lost a few days. That's 10% of a month. John took 12 listings in the month of February, which is more than a lot of our teams and even some of our groups. And so it's an incredibly impressive feat. And if I encourage you, if you've got spare time, put a low jack on John's car, follow him around, see what he's doing. Or if that seems a little bit too intrusive, go back to our YouTube channel and watch the interview that John gave in December towards the end of the year, where he talked about the things that changed in his business that led him to be capping for the first time, and having success that he had previously not yet been able to enjoy. And then on the units sold front, want to call out Lori Degg for closing one unit every 4.5 days in the month of in the month of February. She had 6 closings as an individual agent, a really big month. Your normal shout outs to the young team that they sold 1 billion units. Congratulations, guys. We're surprised. No, really huge accomplishments. 28 listings and 38 closings for the young team. 14 closings for the Golden Group, 13 for the Chase Group, 14 for the Distinct Home Group. Guys, there is a lot of great business happening, and I'll tell you, I am really excited to see what the numbers for March and April look like. I know that a lot of you are feeling the waves of inventory coming on. Over 1,000 homes hit the market last weekend, and I know we got our unfair share as a company, just based on all the under contracts and accepted offer posts and texts that I got. So guys, you're crushing it, and can't wait to see how high this thing goes throughout the spring market. All right, and a big welcome to Kelly Mann. So we're very excited to announce that Kelly will be starting on Monday, March 21st, as our Rocky River receptionist. So we're thrilled to have her as a part of the team. She has been in the Keller Williams community for years now, serving as a transaction coordinator and administrative support for the Cicero team. So she knows her way around our systems, our technology, our culture, and our leadership team. So we're thrilled to have her as a part of the team and as a warm, welcoming face at our Rocky River office, helping keep the Chase Group and the Golden Group and Jeremy Oles and most importantly, Wesley and Ginter in line. So it's a big task. It's a big task, but we know she's up for it, and we're excited for her to get underway next Monday. And just as a reminder, guys, we are still hiring. We're growing as a company. We've grown over the course of the last 2 years, and we want our staff and leadership team to match that. And so we currently have an open position for the Assistant Market Center Administrator. You've seen some emails about that in your inbox over the weekends. I want to remind you that just like with your business, our business is based on referrals. Similar to how we grow our company with agents, that's how we want to grow our company as a leadership team. And we want to add people that you know and you know to be great. And so anyone that you know that could potentially fit that profile of the rule follower that can balance the checks and check the boxes and make sure that everyone gets paid on time, and does it with a little bit of flair, that never hurts. So we're looking to fill that position as we continue to grow. So please pass along any referrals that you have. And then speaking of growth, look at all these pretty people who joined our company in February. February was another great month in terms of growth for our company. Our teams grew, our coaching programs grew, and actually, I think at least 2 and maybe a third individual on this list all have broker's license. So our number of active brokers also continues to grow, which is pretty awesome. It's a great sign for our company, and we know that some of these folks already have their first deal under contract. Some of them already have multiple under contract, in fact. So the opportunities are there, and we are excited that they're exploiting them with Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan. And how exactly did those people come to find a home with Keller Williams? Well, it's likely that they showed up to one of these career nights. We just hosted one last night in the Pepper Pike office. It was via Zoom and in person. And we had over 20 individuals in classes or about to start classes join our career night. And 75% of them came by the way of a referral from an agent in our office. So I wanted to take a second to thank these agents and referral partners that support our growth and make sure that our culture stays strong by adding the right people and only the best people to our community. So Carol, Janet, Jermaine, John, Kim, Sharon, and Wendy, thank you so much for trusting us with your relationships and helping us help people find their way to an amazing career in real estate. Now, you're going to see in a second that we're doing the same thing in Rocky River on the 28th, and I'm very excited to be bringing that show to the third floor training room in Rocky River. And so for those of you who don't know what a career night is, it's really for anybody. It can be for people who are not yet in classes, people currently in classes, people considering it, people who have a license who are like, I don't know if I'm at the right brokerage or I'm not really doing anything with my license yet. Or it could even be for you if it's maybe you signed up about 6 months ago and you're like, hey, I'm transitioning careers, I'm not able to plug in, and you want a refresher. We love having active agents at these events. It helps add a lot of color to the conversation when it's someone other than me talking, which I know is everyone's favorite part of every conversation. When it comes to the event, it's going to be at 5:30 p.m. in our Rocky River office, third floor training room. And it will be hosted via Zoom and in person. So anybody that there's going to be a link going in the chat box here with respect to where they can sign up via Eventbrite. We can capture their information. We can take advantage of the opportunity to follow up with them. But please be there yourself, bring some friends, and let's have a lot of fun. And then this Thursday, Money Matters Mastermind on budgeting. We are going to be money magnets this spring, and so we want to make sure that we are telling that money where to go, that we are squirreling it away for all the appropriate things, taxes, board dues, and then maybe a little bit of fun. We'll budget for some fun as well. And then finally, also on Friday at the Roll House, our first quarter Black Realtor Network meetup in Solon. Come one, come all. It is, looks like we're going to have great attendance there. March Madness is going to be well underway. So come watch your bracket get busted, hang out with some folks in your community, and let's do some networking, guys. Whew. Finally, our feature event for the month, this is going to be awesome, is and everybody on your calendars right now, March 24th, 3 p.m. via Zoom. There will be no limit on the number of people that can attend this. We're going to have some of our top agents breaking down how they write offers, how they present offers, and then an interesting angle on the multiple offer scenarios is we're going to have the listing agent talk about how they receive them, organize, and interpret them. So you're going to get both sides of the coin here, and I guarantee that there is something for everybody to learn from these outstanding agents. We are thrilled to be bringing this to you just in time to win a lot of competitive listings this coming year. All right. So before I click to that next slide, I'm gonna leave it here for a second, and I'm gonna turn it over to Andrew Ginter, because before we get into his slide, he's got something else he wants to cover this morning. So Andrew.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I had an interesting conversation with an agent by email the last couple of days, and it got me thinking about something that I wanted to, I guess, just kind of break some ground on with everybody. And that is, when do we have a contract? That seems like a simple enough question that we all think we know the answer to, but it appears as though people are dragging their feet on thinking that they have a complete contract when they're missing an initial somewhere or an addendum of some kind that was unsigned or something, and that's just not the case. Just so you guys know, as soon as that last page of the purchase agreement has a seller signature on it and a buyer signature on it, you've got a contract. That's why that line says acceptance. That's very specific legal language. And I say this because in the past, the problem that we've had is a seller or a buyer doesn't initial something, and then 5 or 6 days in has cold feet and wants to try and use the fact that they missed an initial to say they don't have a contract and then fight about it, which is usually a losing proposition, unfortunately, just because you can't make somebody buy or sell a house very easily. However, what I actually discovered was starting to happen was people were delaying some of those things that we've got stopwatches on right at the beginning of a contract, like inspection periods and financing, and waiting until that last initial was in place and then thinking the stopwatch started. And as I thought about that, that kind of led me to the final thought of this whole thing, which is, I think it would be good practice, and this is something I know I do with my clients as well as the other agent on every transaction, and we all should be doing it, is lay out all of the deadlines as you understand them with all the parties involved. So when you've got that contract and you're emailing it to all parties at the end, lay out what the inspection deadline is, lay out what the contract date is, lay out what the financing application date is, all that stuff, so that there's no misunderstanding, so that later on there's not a fight about it that turns into a battle that just everybody loses from. So I think it's back to, I feel like a broken record sometimes when I talk about just setting expectations, but it's back to really setting expectations. So once you get that contract that's got a buyer signature and a seller signature on the last page, it's time to initiate that moment with all parties and let everybody know that we've got a contract. The inspection deadline is this date. The loan application deadline is this date, and get everybody moving, as opposed to waiting until that last initial exists, even though the lender needs it, title may need it. And I'm not saying don't get it. I'm just saying that's not the time to hit the button on the stopwatch. It's rather at the end.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, Andrew. You know, we say like with clarity comes power, right? And so if everybody knows that, hey, we're expecting Friday to be the end of the inspection contingency, and if somebody disagrees with that, you can sort it out before Saturday.
Exactly. Because once it's Saturday, somebody feels like they've lost.
Yeah,
and that's no good, because then it's a loser for everybody. So, all right, and now moving on to the big topic of the day. So this is a rule that I guess just to introduce it, we're going to talk about team advertising for a second. It is very difficult for us to police what teams are putting out there into the world, because we have no idea where they're putting. So I push this out to everybody in an attempt to try and get everybody's ear on this. But starting actually at the end of last summer, these rules came into play. I don't believe we have a huge issue with it across the board, but I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page about it. First and foremost, when teams are doing any advertising, there's got to be a licensee named on there. And the biggest place I see that as a potential hurdle is yard signs. You know, I know there's teams that have panel signs, and then that's the only sign they have on their yard sign, and that panel may just have the team name, the brokerage name, and some team grasshopper phone number or something like that. And the team name's not a licensee, and so there has to be a licensee name on there. So teams, if you've got panels with no names on them, you're going to have to go out and buy some riders, because there needs to be a licensee name on there. I don't care if the licensee is the rainmaker or team owner, or if the licensee on there is the person actually interfacing with the client. That doesn't matter to me as much as just a licensee is listed. And secondly, in regards to prominence, this isn't exactly a team thing. This is for all people. But I will say for teams, prominence does not regulate logos unless your team name is in them. But in reference to prominence, it's just a matter of literal square inches on the piece of paper or on the sign. So Greater Metropolitan and your team name or a licensee name have to be in relationship to each other. Greater Metropolitan has to be bigger or the same size. And not to mention just size, but also in boldness or color. You can't have a white background and your team name or licensee name black and Greater Metropolitan light gray. So they have to be the same prominence in both size as well as color and boldness. And moving forward, all team names have to say the word group or team in them. In the past, that was more, they were allowed to say group or team, but now the official rule is they have to say group or team. And those are really the only two things you can put in there beyond the whatever the tagline or the team name is. And you cannot use realty associates. You also can't use realtors. So you can't say, like my team name is the Ginter Group. I can't be the Ginter Group Realtors. It has to stop at group. And just to explain that, the purpose of that is they didn't want team names to start looking like brokerage names. And that's the reason behind that. So if you guys have any questions about any of these rules, whether you're a team or an individual agent, if you're doing things like making signs or cards or something, I would much rather you run stuff by me before you do it than get the email from the state saying, hey, here's a picture of so-and-so's sign from your office. We got a problem. So please feel free to reach out. It does not hurt. It takes me 5 minutes to look at it and give you my feedback. So please, please, please reach out.
And Andrew, we want all questions directed towards us. Don't direct any questions towards the state. The state does not approve signage. They do not approve names. We do that. The state does not need to be involved at any point if we're doing it right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, honestly, it's going to take you days to even get a hold of somebody at the state. So don't waste your time. Please, please, please call us. And if you're reaching out to me, I will certainly get back to you the same day. Unless you call me at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, it might be the next morning, but just reach out and we'll help you any way we can, because we want to make sure you guys are all above board. The last thing I want to see somebody do is spend $1,000 on signs and then have to throw them all away.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to do that once for breaking these rules. So, so please don't be like me.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrew. If you could just to make sure everybody has it, drop your email or your cell in the chat, whichever you're comfortable sharing,
Sure.
so that if anyone has any questions or wants to follow up about an easy solve,
sorry, Mike. It looks like there's a question in the chat for Andrew that just says, can you speak to how this impacts social media advertising?
Exactly the same way. So yeah, you have to, if you're putting out any kind of like Facebook sized flyers or things like that, the prominence rules still all apply. And so does the rules about what your team name is. You still need to have a licensee name on there. Most team names have done a pretty good, or teams that are advertising on social media as a team, as opposed to the individual, as I've seen, have done a pretty good job. If you're advertising through your team page, your team page already has your team name on it. So you don't have to be as aggressive about making sure that that team name is like in the advertisement, because it's all one advertisement when your name is on top of it and then what you're advertising. But you do need to make sure Greater Metropolitan is in there, and make sure that it's the same size. And to be clear, the KW is not part of our brokerage name as far as the state's concerned, just Greater Metropolitan. But if you've got specific questions on social media, just like I said, please reach out. Unfortunately, these rules are painting with a pretty broad brush. So what I'm saying may apply differently to one team than another because of the way they're doing it or what their objective is. So please feel free to reach out about it.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for all of that clarity. We are going to throw it over to our partners next. And so going to ask for observance of a 120 to 150 second rule so we can get to everybody else that we have to today. Sean and Don, gentlemen, what's the latest? We're all waiting with bated breath until this afternoon, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, tomorrow afternoon. So two quick announcements. One, I've mentioned this before, but just a reminder, you can get a copy of your credit report, or a consumer can get a copy of the credit report, usually once a year free at annualcreditreport.com. But during the pandemic, you can check your credit weekly. So as we're counseling buyers who are doing some credit repair or trying to put themselves in a good position, we do remind them of that. But yeah, Mike, as you mentioned, the Federal Reserve Board meets today, concludes their meeting, press conference tomorrow at 2:15. They're going to bump the interest rate 0.25%, and that's been sort of on the horizon, for the past 3 months. So that's kind of led to the uptick in interest rates, and I guess that's more the reaction to the uptick with interest rates with inflation, oil prices, Ukraine. So we may or may not have a whole lot of direction after the meeting tomorrow, but we're finally coming up to this milestone we've been waiting on. Rates, I just opened up the average for interest rates nationwide on a 30-year fix is 4.41%. So definitely a little bit of an uptick compared to what we're used to. But Don, why don't you go ahead and enlighten us?
Well, in reality, tomorrow's meeting, the 0.25% increase is not the focus of the meeting. What the Fed chairman has to say tomorrow is what's going to sway our markets one way or the other, possibly. So that's what we're all waiting for at bated breath, is to read the verbiage and listen to what he says as to what direction this is going to go initially. This is going to be the first of 7 rate increases. So they're talking anywhere from 1.5 to 1 3/4 point bump this year. But what he says tomorrow, I think, is going to be how things are going, what direction we're going to head in for the coming months.
And by that, you mean like how steep that curve is against the inflation, or?
Yeah, it's whether it's they can take a hawkish or dovish react, whether they're going to react dovish or hawkish to what's going on in the market is how aggressive they get. If we get into a meeting here in the next two meetings where they decide to bump 0.5% instead of 0.25%, that's what's going to change things.
Yep.
Because they don't like uncertainty.
Great. So, for everybody on the call that is wants to draw something out for a script, we'll do a little debrief next week on what those comments were. But looking at about 0.25 point, expecting multiple rate increases this year. Money's as cheap as it's going to be for a while right now. So keep your buyers in the game and don't let them go to the sidelines.
Hey, Mike, what this does affect tomorrow, the 0.25% rate increase, it will affect anybody who has adjustable rates on home equity lines of credit. So your interest rate will go up 0.25 point in the coming days after this hike.
Nice. Good stuff. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate that. All right, over to our crew with Greater Metropolitan Title and Escrow, Jade and Tiffany, your title partners. How are we doing this morning?
Great. How are you?
Wonderful.
This morning, we just really quickly wanted to touch base on something that we're having a lot of success with our partners and agents in the brokerage. So if you have a listing, you are able to include the ABA for GM title in the documents that are in the MLS. You are not able, we did confirm you're not able to put anything in the comment section about a preferred title company or anything along those lines, but we're finding great success, especially in a seller's market. If you include the ABA in the title, oftentimes the buyer's agent doesn't push for their title company. They're happy to go through us. We are an impartial third party, so we do look out for obviously everybody in the transaction. We want to make sure everybody has a great experience. And, it's important to us. Every deal is important to us. So if you have a new listing coming up, give it a try. Put the ABA in there. We'd love to handle your next transaction. If you have any questions, let us know. And we look forward to working with you.
Yeah, we love that. And I think the opportunity in this seller's market to define seller's preferred terms, right? You do it with your possession dates, you do it with your listing price is now the starting price, but and don't shy away from the opportunity to include our title company as a part of that, because they work very closely with everybody at Cross Country Mortgage. They work very closely with everybody in our office, and they have a lot of experience with our systems and processes. And so it is a more consistent, less painful process for everybody involved when there is that those elements of familiarity. So we appreciate that call out, and that is a great opportunity to ensure that your sellers have the best selling experience or your buyers have the best buying experience. Jade, anything from you this morning?
I just wanted to remind everyone about the open house baskets. It is a great way, to take some stress off of you guys. Once again, I would be more than happy to drop those off at either office. And I know, I don't really know how popular brokers opens are, because I know inventory is limited. But if you guys are having one, please let me know. We'd be happy to sponsor it, bring by some snacks. Love to see the house. So get in contact with me if you are doing one. And like I said, we'd be more than happy to help.
Awesome. All right, over to Gina Legeza with America's Preferred Home Warranty.
Good morning, everybody. We were talking earlier about being in a celebratory mood. I am in a celebratory mood today, Michael, because I wanted to honor our top team from 2021. Our awards were coming from a long way away, so I didn't have them at awards time, but I thought it was very important to honor our top team and top individual for 2021. And look what I have here, Michael. Congratulations to the young team.
All right.
Yeah, big congrats. And then obviously I'll hand deliver these. And obviously our #1 producer single agent for 2021, Art.
I know that guy.
Right? Congratulations. These folks know how important it is to put a home warranty on it. And I want to make sure I'm honoring our top team for 2021, the young team, and our top producer for 2021, Mr. Art Overton. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name or your last name. We talk all the time, but thank you so much for your fantastic work to these individuals and team. Could not do it without your support. Everyone on the call, over 83% of homeowners have a major system failure. This team and Art knows how important it is to utilize their program and protect your clients. So much love and thanks to the young team and Art for our top producers for 2021, Michael.
That's terrific. Well, thank you for all of your support. We know that agents wouldn't lean in so hard if it wasn't worthwhile and if it wasn't something that was really valuable to their clients. So we greatly appreciate it, Gina.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate everybody. Have a great day.
You too. All right, and then we're going to bring it home with an update from Greater Metropolitan Management, Miss Jess Giota Ivans on the line this morning. Is it Giota? Are we hyphenating? Or are we not hyphenating? What's going on here?
No, no hyphenating.
No hyphenating. Done.
Hey, Mike. Hi, everybody. I have some cool opportunities for you all this morning. We are always looking for ways to give you guys some opportunities, some learning opportunities, some opportunities to make some money. And that's what I have for you today. I'm going to go through these in record time, but don't worry, I'm going to be posting all of this on our Facebook page as well. We have 7 units that are available for rent, and we are offering you all commission and only you.
What are the protection classes under the Federal Fair Housing Act?
Okay, Dale, we're going to mute you and let it go back to Jess.
So I'm going to go through these very quickly, but please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And like I said, I'm going to post these on our Facebook page as well. And you'll be able to check out some more details and some pictures. But we are offering you guys commission. If you do have a tenant or somebody looking to rent, let us know. First one is 1261 Cleveland Heights Boulevard. Great location. Single family home, 3-bed, 2-bath with the finished 3rd floor at $1,600 per month. We have a property on Clinton over in Ohio City, 2 units, both updated, very historic for the area. One is a 1-bed, the other is a 2-bed, and they're really great properties, walking distance to a lot of the great things over in Ohio City. We have a property 1719 Clark in the Tremont area. It's a 3-bed, 1-bath. It's been completely renovated, brand new appliances, and it's an upstairs unit for $950. We have another Cleveland property on West 92nd, 2-bed with a bonus room, and that's $875. Again, updated. 2 more. We have one on West 67th, literally steps away from Gordon Square, Blue Habanero restaurant. Amazing location. It's been updated. It's a 1-bed, 1-bath. There is a bonus room there, and that's $850 per month. And finally, we have a property that we haven't even started advertising yet, so you're the first to hear about it. It's a single family home on East Antisdale in South Euclid. updated. It's brick, lots of space, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and that's going to be available this week for $1,300 per month. So those are, like I said, 7 units right now that we have waiting for you to bring us a tenant, and we're offering commission on those. So let us know if you have anybody interested.
All right, awesome, guys. For any of you who have somebody who is under the gun and needs to get somewhere due to another lease expiring, and if they can't make it into a home, there's an opportunity here. Always some great opportunities with leasing with Greater Metropolitan Management. Excuse me. And Jess, if you could, if you have a link to those, drop that in the chat or any other information that is in there. That would be awesome.
You bet.
All right, now we're going to send it around the horn with our members of our leadership team here, starting with Miss Kari Mitchell, who has some key dates for us on the horizon for some tremendous events coming up. Kari?
Hi, everyone. Mike, if you can click. Our big upcoming event that we want to share with you guys is our Q2 kickoff. So this is going to be our first in-person meeting in almost 2 years since the pandemic. We wanted to do something really special. So we are going to be at the Independent Civic Center again in person. We will have a top agent panel. Mike will give a market update. We will also have a keynote speaker, and we will be doing a little bit of an overview of what to expect in Q2. Again, this is our first large in-person event in a very long time. So we would love to see as many of you guys there as possible. I will send the link to register in the chat box. Thanks. Also, another upcoming event is Red Day. So this is going to be May 12th, so be sure to mark your calendars. We will have a sales meeting describing a little bit more about Red Day and how you can volunteer. What Red Day is, if you're unfamiliar, it is our annual day of service that our company does. We take off from work and we all go volunteer in our communities. We will present you guys with volunteer opportunities, so all you have to do is sign up and show up. But again, more details will be coming out for that later in the month. And lastly, we have some exciting reverse book clubs coming up. So in April, there will be one hosted by Shoshana, and in May, there will be one hosted by Jessica. So these are great for you guys. They are just show up and learn. You don't need to read the book before, and they will be covering some really great topics that we will share with you guys a little bit closer to. But again, those are Fridays, April 1st, and then May 6th.
All right, awesome, guys. Get that stuff on your calendar now. We will really look forward to seeing everybody in person at that April 13th event. It's going to be a lot of fun and a great way to get everybody together, recharge some batteries, and really attack spring market together. We're going to throw it over now to our West Side Wesley here in the Rocky River office, who runs the Rocky River Productivity Coaching Program. For just an update of what's going on in coaching, big wins, anything that anybody needs to know. Wesley?
Sure, thanks, Mike. Good morning to everyone. Yeah, it's been a really interesting month since, or month and a half now since I sort of took this program over. As far as some of the stuff that we've been covering in coaching, it's been really interesting. We've done some really crazy stuff. I mean, just sort of your normal, lead generation, buyer presentation, listing presentation. This week, we're actually going to go over number tracking, what that looks like, what numbers you should be tracking, those sort of things. One of the highlights has been I actually took all of the coaching clients to a vacant home and had an inspector come out and just went over all of the different, how does a house work? What does this look like? What do you look for when you're showing a buyer and those sorts of things? And that was super awesome. As far as big wins that we've had so far, getting people into contract, always a big win. So that's been fun to watch some of those folks grow. I actually have 2 post 1 year coaching clients. So that's been really fun and really helpful just to walk them through some of those things and sort of help them to drill down in their business to a degree that's really helpful for them. So yeah, so that's about all I've got for update. Just really cool things in there. It seems to be a little bit of a buzz around coaching over here over the last few weeks. So that's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, we love that, man, and love everything that you're doing over here to help agents at every level of the game. And I just want to echo the sentiments that, you know, we're seeing a lot of folks get under contract for the first time, which is an awesome impact of the productivity coaching program for new agents. But on both your program and Eric's program on the East Side, you know, post 1 year coaching programs. Coaching is an opportunity and is available to anybody at any stage of the game. And our top agents in the company are in coaching. There's no denying the connectivity between that and success. So appreciate you sharing out some of those wins and availing yourself to all of our agents as an opportunity to grow.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike.
Yep. All right, over to JC, the MCA. That didn't really work. MCA-nouncements. We're just going to go with that. Just read what's on the screen, Mike. Morning, Julia.
Good morning. Hi, everyone. I am sharing with you a new app that we actually just found out about last week during the Investor Mastermind. It is called Forewarn. So right now, I'm aware that this is free to associates who belong to both ACAR and the Medina County Board of Realtors and the Stark County Board of Realtors. So if you belong to not one of those, I'm working with or reaching out to both Elgar and LOCAR, which are our two most common boards, to find out if they also have an affiliation with Forewarn. But what Forewarn is, it is an app that you are able to enter phone numbers of clients that you're going to meet. It is to protect you and provide due diligence so that your conversations, especially with people that you don't know or aren't in your sphere of influence, that you have more productive like business interactions with them ahead of time. It has about 90% of all mobile and home phone numbers like registered with it. So it's a pretty good resource to use if you are dialing, making calls for sale by owners, you know, ahead of time before those appointments. We suggest that you use this app, double check their phone number. What it does is it's going to bring up a snapshot of their, I guess, criminal history. So it could just be like listing 2 recent speeding tickets. It could give you information about other things in their past potentially that would either maybe prohibit you from working for them, or at least at a minimum give you that knowledge so that you maybe took someone with you if you were on that appointment, or at least the awareness ahead of time. So I sent this out in the weekend email on Saturday. I will put the information in the chat here. How you register is when you click the link, it's going to be the email that you are connected with to your board. So if you aren't registered, when you joined a board, if you used like not your KW email or you used a personal email, it's going to be that email. So if you have questions about that, just shoot me an email and I will help you get access. But we highly recommend anyone who has access to this new app to download it and start using it just to protect yourself and your business. And that's it.
I love that. I love it. What a great opportunity and a great resource provided by the boards to keep realtors safe, which as busy as we get in the market, we cannot lose sight. We got to stay focused on being safe first. So thank you so much for bringing that to the table, Julia. And then we will throw it over to Ceara for an update on CEs.
Good morning, everyone. So as a new agent, you all are required to renew your license on your first birthday after obtaining your license. That renewal does not have a CE requirement with it, but it does come with a fee of $182. If you miss the renewal deadline and you are late, then you will owe a late fee and a reactivation fee because your license will be suspended, taking your total due for your first birthday renewal to $307. Within your first year of real estate, you will additionally owe a 20-hour post-licensure course. This is a course that is typically included in your real estate classes package at the school that you took your classes at, so you can always check with them. I think most people are Hondros, so you can reach out to Hondros and find out if you're registered for it or how you can register if you aren't. And then that 20 hours, you'll complete the course and Hondros will provide you with a certificate. If you do not automatically receive the certificate, you will want to directly reach out to Hondros and ask them for the certificate. We will not have it. The state will not have it. You have to have that physical certificate from whatever school you took it at. That renewal will not come at a cost unless you miss your renewal deadline, and you will have to pay a reactivation fee of $34. And then within your first 3 years of real estate, and then every 3 years thereafter, on your birthday, you will owe 30 hours of continuing education. 9 of those hours are mandatory and 21 of them are elective courses. So you have 30 hours of CE due in addition to a $182 fee. Same deal here. If you miss the renewal deadline, then you will owe a $97 late fee and the $34 reactivation fee, bringing your total due to $307. When you miss any deadlines for renewals, your license is suspended and sent back to the Division of Real Estate, and you cannot practice. It's very important that you know where you stand with your renewals. I do send emails and text messages. If I email you and text you, please just respond. Then we know that you've seen it, that you're aware. And if you don't know, or you haven't heard from me, then reach out and I'm happy to look it up, let you know where you stand or when you're due. Or if there's any other questions, I can help you with that too. Typically, you do need to mail your renewal for your first renewal. A lot of times the portal through the division does not work well for like first birthday renewals when it's the first time you've done it. Some people have had success, so that is also an option outside of mailing it. When you mail it, it must be postmarked by the date due and no later. Otherwise, it will be counted as late, your license will be suspended, and then you will have to deal with that.
Yeah, the division does not do digital submission very well, so I would encourage everyone to get ahead of it. You do not have to wait until the month or the week or the day that your CE is due to renew. You can get it done and renew early, which is always pretty cool and takes the stress out. And if you do not know when your renewal cycle is or when it's due, please, as Ceara said, reach out and confirm that so that there is not a fire drill for you and it doesn't compromise your listing portfolio or anything you have under contract. And I'll do that right now because Ceara, I'm not sure when my license needs to be renewed, but could you take a look at that for me and let me know? Because I'm probably due for some CE myself.
I will double check. You did mention doing it early and getting it turned in. You cannot do it more than, I think it's 90 days early as far as your 30 hours and your post-licensure you can do whenever. There's no limit on that, but your 30 hours, the division will not accept it more than, I believe it's 90 days ahead of your due date. So just keep that in mind.
I would like to live in a world where people turning their CE in too early is the biggest problem we have.
Yeah, same.
All right. Thank you so much for your support on that, Ceara. And guys, that's going to bring us damn near to the bottom of the hour, and we're going to call it a day. Thank you so much for joining us. Be on the lookout for a recap email with links to sign up for everything coming up on the horizon. We have an awesome Money Matters Mastermind this Friday. Mastering Multiples with Megas next Thursday, and then mark your calendars for the Q2 kickoff on April 13th. Have an awesome week, guys. We'll see you here next Tuesday.